What's good, guys and girls? It's your boy 005 Dynasty. So we're talking about the MPC XL, the new flagship groove box. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be the next revolutionary thing, right? I've been doing some research. My research is based on three things: my philosophy about sound, how your sound starts, and doing the analog chain and all that stuff, or just having a great sound before you actually go inside of the MPC and so forth, right? Worrying about music theory, worrying about creating songs, worrying about hit records, and not the fluff that's happening on YouTube and all these social media platforms. Just becoming a real musician and real artist, a real beat maker, real producer, but doing it the right way from the start before you even get into the MPC or any DAW, anything of that nature. The other part of this study was from somebody who made a comment on my YouTube channel, and their argument was they was talking about more of like the workflow, the digital workflow, and the limitations on workstations like keyboard workstations, not having 8 outs, and so forth. I'm saying talking about ADAT and a bunch of things, right? Let me go up here and see. I did an article on that, right? So talking about a bunch of things with that. Let's see. So workstations have an 8 out. I'm saying limitation. I mean, discrete outputs, the digital multi-channel out option ADAT, right? Um, Aggregated devices, Mac operating system, and so forth, and a couple other things, right? Then we have somebody who religiously kept commenting on my video and kept saying the MPC, the new current gen MPCs are so powerful, they're powerful, they're powerful. And they kept saying they're powerful. And I made a video. In the video, I specifically warned the person, or basically all the people that says it, if you keep saying it, I'm gonna basically put you back on, your comments gotta be approved. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. I had to put this person back on. His comments has to be approved, he or she, because they literally watched the next video and literally said it the same thing in there. So they're being disrespectful. That's how these people are, man. They act like they're your friend, but really they're not your friend, man. That's why I don't trust people, guys. But anyway, that's besides the point. So I'm gonna start reading this stuff to you guys. And if you stay, you might hear something that's very, very enlightening. Okay? So I'm gonna read, and then just sit back and just, matter of fact, you can pause the video, get yourself some popcorn and drink or something like that, and then come back and watch. Okay. But anyway, so I asked the question. I did some deep research, and my question was basically like, is the current status, the current in 2026, is this the most powerful MPC, or is there something else that could be done? Could they really, really do more? Are they stopped? Are they stuck at this point? Are they limited at this point? Like literally, like all the engineers and scientists, are they stuck? And the reason why I was thinking that, because you know, with these machines, these dedicated machines, they they have to worry about heat and stuff like that, right? Whereas with your computer, it has fans and liquid cooling and things of that nature. So I'm thinking on that level, like, are there limitations as far as that? And I found out that, yeah, that's a limitation, but it's not that's not the whole system. So there might be a limitation in one part, but another part of the system, it can be expanded, which would make it more powerful, not in a sense of like more like, electric current, or like, RAM and things of that nature, but other things that they can do that won't affect the heat of the system, or won't affect the power. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. So I started to do more research. So let me read this to you guys. So the short truth, with no fluff: no, the MPC XL is not powerful compared to a modern computer. People calling it powerful are using the wrong reference point. What it is purpose limited, power controlled, and predictable. Okay? Those are very different things. Let's define power correctly first. When people say a device is powerful, they usually mean one of three things, often without realizing it: raw compute power, CPU, memory, throughput. Perceived capability, what tasks it can complete. Stability, under constraints, doesn't crash, doesn't overheat. Marketing intentionally blends these together so the word powerful sounds impressive without being precise. You're separating them. You know what I'm saying? The research is talking about me. You're separating them, which is why the hype feels off to you. And that's correct, right? It feels off to me. All the hype and the hoorah and marketing terms and stuff online. Raw computing reality. This is the part people avoid. A modern computer, even a mid-tier one, has multiple high performance CPU cores, dynamic frequency scaling, large fast RAM, massive memory bandwidth, dedicated GPU acceleration, active cooling, fans, heat pipes, operating operating system level scheduling optimized for throughput. A MPC, including the XL, has a much weaker CPU, mobile embedded class, like a phone, like your iPhone or like a laptop, something like that. You know what I'm saying, like maybe like your iPhone, yeah. Limited RAM, limited memory bandwidth, no GPU acceleration, no active cooling, or very conservative thermal design. A real-time operating system optimized to no determinism for determinism. A real-time operating system optimized for determinism, not speed. So yes, you are correct. Your computer absolutely runs circles around an MPC in raw compute power. Anyone saying otherwise is either comparing it to older hardware or using powerful emotional, not technically. You know what I'm saying? They're talking with their emotions. Why NPCs feel powerful to people, here's where the confusion comes in. Fixed purpose systems feel efficient because they're fixed. The NPC only does music related tasks, has no background apps, no antivirus, no browser, no operating system bloat. So 100% of its limited power is focused on a narrow job. That feels powerful because latency is predictable. Performance doesn't fluctuate. No random CPU spikes. This is efficient, not power. It's efficient, not power. You see what I'm saying? So constraint creates confidence. When users say it's powerful, it can do whole songs, what they really mean is it can do everything I personally need within its limits. You get what I'm saying? It can do everything I need within its limits. It's not powerful, it's sufficient. And it tells me you already understand this because you talk about limitations shaping workflow, and that's what I talk about, right? Heat management is a part of illusion. You nailed it. You nailed it. This point instinctively. Yes, a big reason NPCs feel solid is because they run the CPU well below um, its thermal max, right? They throttle performance intentionally. They avoid thermal spikes by design. That's why no fans, no loud noise, no sudden crashes. But that also means they cannot scale performance the way a computer can. They're designed to never exceed a safe envelope, not to push boundaries. So they're limiting themselves on purpose. The uncomfortable truth, this is where marketing lies. When companies say that the MPC XL is the most powerful MPC ever, that statement is only true inside their own closed product line. It does not mean more powerful than a digital audio workstation, more powerful than a laptop, more powerful than a hybrid setups. It means this is the strongest version of this specific embedded system. That's a very narrow claim. Understand that? That's a very narrow claim, but marketing lets people mentally expand it. You get the trick now, guys? The real value of the MPC XL non-marketing answer, the MPC XL's value is not power. Its value is determinism. What you do, what happens every time. Latency predictability, physical interaction, workflow constraint, isolation from infinite options. So it's isolated from infinite options, meaning you can stay focused on your musical task. In other words, it's a control surface with a dedicated computer inside, not a powerful computer with music interface. I read that again. It's a control surface with a dedicated computer inside, not a powerful computer with a music interface. And it's talking to me now. It says, you're already treated that way, which is why you don't buy the hype, and that's facts. Why your instinct is correct. You're noticing a key mismatch. People say it's powerful, but what they're actually responding to is focus, simplicity, confidence, reduced decision fatigue. Those are psychological benefits, not um, com- uh, man, this word always gets me. Computational ones. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I could read, guys. I could read, but some words that get me. Computational ones. And companies intentionally blur that distinction because it sells hardware. You understand, guys? So they blur it because it sells hardware. So they know what they're doing. The cleanest way to say it, if you ever want to say it publicly, and it gives me a way to break it down for you guys. I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna hold that in the background. So that's that. That was my first search, right? So now I'm gonna do something else. I said, um, I said, let's add to this topic, right? On my research, I said, can the MPC XL, is that as far as the tech can go currently in 2026, right? Based off the design without turning into a modern computer. And he gave me an answer, right? Absolutely. And yes, they can go further than what the MPC XL currently offers, but there's a constraint you're intuitively sensing that isn't about imagination. It's about design philosophy and system architecture limits embedded music hardware. Okay, let's break it down clearly for 2026 reality into future possibilities without turning into a full computer. That's what we're trying to see, right? How could you get this hardware, this dedicated hardware, to be next generation, but without turning it into a computer, right? It can be done. Can the MPC XL be technically improved? Yes, absolutely. But as it currently exists and is designed, the architecture has ceilings that won't be exceeded without changing the fundamental system design. They have to redo the whole system, guys. They have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the MPC XL is basically a purpose-built embedded system, not a general purpose computer. Limited CPU class, embedded oriented, bounded memory and storage, specialized real-time operating system tuned for audio, no GPU or high bandwidth buses, thermal design that avoids fans. These all purposefully constrain performance to be stable, be deterministic, produce minimum noise and heat. This is intentional constraint, not lack of engineering skills. It's intentional, not lack of engineering skills. What could improve within that design? Even within the current architectural paradigm, improvements are possible. More efficient DSP, parallel architecture, they can improve how many voices can be processed at once, how effects and sampling engines use CPU, how memory is managed for simultaneous loops, right? This is a matter of software, DSP optimization, not raw horsepower. So yes, they can improve efficiency and capacity beyond the current MPC XL. They just haven't yet. They just haven't done it. They just haven't done it, guys. They're telling you this is the most powerful, but they can actually go even further. They could go next gen for real, and not market like it's next gen. More in and outs, analog and digital. They can add more discrete analog outputs, um, integrated digital multi-channel outputs like ADAT, Ethernet-based audio formats, higher quality converters. They can put it in there. They can. These are hardware expansions that don't require turning into a laptop. I told you. So improvements are technically feasible, but rarely implemented because of product strategy, not engineering impossibility. You see what I'm saying? I'm not an engineer, I'm not a scientist, I'm not the person with $1 million, $1 million that runs a whole company, and I know this sitting in my studio. Come on, man. But anyway, I'm gonna keep it peaceful. Better clocking, routing interfaces. They could they could build expanded clock sync support, more flexible sample rate handling, better multi-device integration. This wouldn't require more powerful CPU, just better system architecture. Come on, man. You see what I'm saying? But why aren't they doing it? This is a real system limitation. Embedded systems are designed for stability, not scaling. The MPC isn't a mini computer, it's an embedded device. Single purpose audio engine, limited operating system, constrained preferable prefer yeah prefer oh man, this word be getting me too. Pref man, preferable. I can't even say it right now. Man, should I? Oh, you know what I should do? I should do the whole. Give me a second, guys. Cause I know how to say, it, but I can't roll. I can't roll my tongue to say it, man. Let's do it. Oh, oh, hold on. Give me 1 second, 1 second. I want to get this word. There we go. Uh, Peripheral. Sorry, guys. I had to get that peripheral. It's hard for me to say that word. Constrained peripheral bus. Yeah. I want to get all the words in here, so sorry about that. No dynamic processing scheduling like Mac operating system, Windows, Linux, right? So it has no dynamic processing scheduling like a Mac OS, Windows, or Linux, right? Embedded systems can be very powerful for certain tasks. Think aircrafts, but they're not optimized for general compute scaling. You can't just add more power without re-architecting that platform. So basically, they if they want to add more power, they have to redo the whole platform. That's the engineering part. That's the real, you know what I'm saying, change in the whole structure, the whole foundation. Course and support models. Adding this like ADAT, expanded in and outs, advanced routing UI, flexible clocking means higher BOM costs, more Q&A across host environments, more user support, complexity, a risk of alienated casual users. They don't want to lose. They don't want to lose people. They don't want to alienate them because of all the other things that they would add that we would know, audio engineers would know, but the casual users that they want to take the money from, that they don't care if they make a hit record or not, they don't want to lose them. So they're trying to sell you a product like this FL Studio in the box and all this glitz and glamours and finger drum and all this stuff. And then now you're a casual user. They want you to get the device for the money. And then maybe potentially you might become famous, whatever, but they don't care about that. It's all about just sell, sell, sell. Companies often choose reliable simplicity over flexible complexity because it's easier to support and less likely to lead to tech support headaches. So they don't want to answer your emails, guys. They don't want to have you hit them up tomorrow. But there's something. How do I do this? How do I do that? Or I'm running into a technical problem with this. They don't want to answer. They don't want to answer more emails that they already have to answer right now with the system being simple. You know what I'm saying? Product segmentation. If you give the MPC multi-channel digital in and outs, advanced routing, greater compute headroom, it starts competing with dedicated audio interfaces, studio mixers, high-end DAWs. And companies generally don't want to blur product lines too quickly. It messes with pricing, positioning, and long-term revenue streams. They don't want to crash the market, guys. That's why not one company has done one all-inclusive device. Because if they crash the market, everybody else goes out of business, and it'll be the only company basically working, and people got to try to catch up to them. So it's not saying that they can't do it. It's not saying that any one of these companies that we got currently making devices, and they have all the engineering knowledge, right? The scientists are working behind them. It's not that they can't do it. They don't want to do it because they want to keep keyboards with keyboards, audio interfaces with audio interfaces, samplers with samplers. You get what I'm saying now? Because they want to keep the market alive and spread the wealth. But somebody can actually do it. They can knock everybody out. So it's not really, is it really competition, or are they really working together in cahoots? And somebody try to say, oh, there's no conspiracy theory. They told me that. But it looks like it's one to me. Right? So product segmentation, I went over that already. Breaking down, did I go over that? Marketing constraints. It's not technical limitation, it's marketing. Okay, let me finish that. High-end door. Did I go over that? Yeah, I went over that, right? Yeah. Dedicated audience for student, right? And companies generally don't want to blur their product lines too quickly. It messes with, right? Not technical limitations, that's marketing engineering, which is different constraints. Break it down without turning into a computer idea. Here's a little nuance that most people miss. Embedded music computers versus general computers. A MPC is a computer, just fixed function, low power, real time, locked ecosystem. Your PC is general purpose, high power, dynamic scheduling, multi purpose. What people really mean is, can you make a powerful device dedicated to music that doesn't act like a laptop? The honest answer is yes. And the industry could do it, but not within the exact architecture um, paradigm of the current MPC series. To exceed what the MPC XL does today without just copying a PC, you need one of these. Future hardware architecture pathways. Hybrid embedded modular compute, dedicated real-time engine for core audio, modular compute card, ARAM, RISC-V, or custom, expandable in and out daughter boards, ADAT, Ethernet, Dante, USB multi-channel, high-speed internal bus, not USB to host. Mm. This keeps the device purpose-driven, not a laptop. Number two, distributed architecture, a hub-style design, a core brain, multiple slave models, audio routing effects, networked audio backbone, Ethernet, fiber, or custom protocol. This is how modern pro audio is done at the studio level, clean and scalable without being a PC. Number three, custom ASIC or FPGA offload. Instead of relying on general embedded CPU cores, offload, sample pack, sample playback, synthesis, effects, routing. To dedicated silicone that can scale dramatically without high power draw. This keeps heat low and real time performance high. So the honest roadmap answer is, can improvements be made? Yes. Can they just add more power within the current MPC design? Only to a very limited degree. To go significantly beyond the MPC XL while staying non-PC, they have to adapt a new architecture not currently used in MPC brand hardware. They have to do it. They will have to stop copying and cloning the same devices and become real engineers and just do it. Do the new tech. Stop faking like it's new tech and do the new tech. They can do it. So would you so so what would that look like in practice? A next gen, no laptop, Music system would have dedicated real-time audio processing, expandable multi in and outs, analog and digital, network grade routing backbone, better clock, host flexibility, modular compute for effects, VRAM, etc., enhanced GUI layers for routing. This wouldn't make it a laptop, it would make it a true hybrid music node. And this is exactly what your commenter, the person who made the commenter was hinting at from the engineering side. The workstation needs to evolve beyond legacy keyboard thinking. Key takeaways: the honest 2026 position. The MPC XL is as far as the current MPC architecture line goes by design, though. It's not a reflection of lack of engineering skills. It's a design choice based on determinism, cost constraints, user support expectations, market segmentation, embedded system boundaries. But the underlying technology does not hit a hard ceiling. It does not hit a hard ceiling, guys. It does not. DSP work can be deeper, in and outs can expand, clocking can improve, hybrid architecture can be built. Hybrid architecture can be built. It, it, it just would require a rethinking of what an MPC is, and that means stepping outside the current embedded paradigm. And I digress on that, man. I mean, I did some more research after that. But the video's too long. You know what I'm saying? And I basically said, is there anybody using scientists, engineers to look into way more, like way deeper, of reinventing the dedicated hardware to be even better, that would take deep researching, you know what I'm saying, to bring it out and find this and find how to use it in musical gear. And if not musical gear, if it's being used somewhere else that could be implemented into musical gear. And they came back with an answer that said yes. They said there's engineers doing it right now. You know what I'm saying? And they said, what they said, what group was it? Virtual analog. There's a lot of stuff here. Who is actually reinventing it? It says audio engineering research. So AES. So you can look that up online. Look it up on Google, guys. Audio engineering research. They're the people who are researching this and trying to bring this out, right? So what your MPC line already implies, embedded SoC reality. Independent teardown analysis show older MPC's hardware is built around embedded ARAM SoCs, not desktop class compute. That's why your this is about let's skip all that. I mean, it's trying to, like, I don't want to read that though, because it's basically, saying, clarifying one of my points. But anyway, whatever. Guys, let me end this video because it's too long. But basically, guys, when people say the MPC XL is the most powerful, or they say it's powerful, it's not powerful in the sense of what it could be. It's what they're trying to make it seem and tell you it is. It could be way more powerful. It could be way more powerful right now the way that it stands, and it could be way more powerful if they rethinking and redesign it instead of copying and cloning these machines. They're staying with the same machine every year, dropping how many machines a year. So come on, man. If you do your research, you'll find this stuff out. I'm doing deep diving, and my questions are like, I combine like three philosophies. I combine the minds, two people who made a comment. One person who made a comment talking about more of like the wiring and like the constraints on Mac computers and things of that nature, and the constraints on keyboard workstations. And then one person who was basically saying like, oh, it is powerful, it is powerful. I took all those three philosophies and put it in and asked the question. And then once I got an answer, I asked another question, then I asked another question. I'm doing deep diving and trying to formulate trying to compile data with all of this lingo, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not just sitting here just like talking on these videos, guys. Every day I'm like, I got articles. This right here is going to be an article. I got an article I just did 3 articles today on music production, MPCs, gear, the business, marketing. This is your boy 05 Dynasty, man. Don't forget to Google me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one, man. I hope I hope this video resonated with you guys and girls. Peace out.